Hey, this is Barry Canada from L3 Success and LunchtimeRecordings.com. And this is episode number 55-2. As stated yesterday, the topic for this week will be "For the love of money is the root of all evil." And today, instead of diving straight into talking about how money is bad and everything, what I want to do today is I want to talk about, or actually I just want to go over some scriptures of a prominent wealthy person that is mentioned in the Bible. And most of you would probably already guess that this is King Solomon that I'm talking about. And so I want to read about King Solomon's wealth. Throughout the week, we'll talk about other topics related to wealth and how the accumulation of wealth and greed and a number of other things that go into influencing your decisions and ultimately your relationship with God. So we'll dig into those topics and those parts of this. But for now, this is the one thing I want to focus on is King Solomon's wealth today. And let's do this by reading the scriptures in 2 Chronicles chapter 9, verses 13 through 28. The weight of gold that came to Solomon annually was 25 tons, besides what was brought by the merchants and traders. All the Arabian kings and governors of the land also brought gold and silver to Solomon. King Solomon made 200 large shields of hammered gold. 15 pounds of hammered gold went into each shield. He made 300 small shields of hammered gold. About 8,000 pounds of gold went into each shield. The king put them in the house of the forest of Lebanon. The king also made a large ivory throne and overlaid it with pure gold. The throne had 6 steps. There was a footstool covered in gold for the throne, armrest on either side of the seat, and 2 lions standing beside the armrest. 12 lions were standing there on the 6 steps, one on each side. Nothing like it had ever been made in any other kingdom. All of King Solomon's drinking cups were gold. All of the utensils of the house of the forest of Lebanon were pure gold. There was no silver, since it was considered nothing in Solomon's time. For the king's ships kept going to Tarshish with Hiram's servants, and once every 3 years the ships of Tarshish would arrive bearing gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks. King Solomon surpassed all the kings of the world in riches and wisdom. All of the kings of the world wanted an audience with Solomon to hear the wisdom God had put in his heart. Each of them would bring his own gift, items of silver and gold, clothing, weapons, spices, horses, and mules, as an annual tribute. Solomon had 4,000 stalls for horses and chariots and 12,000 horsemen. He stationed them in the chariot cities and with the king in Jerusalem. He ruled over the kings from the Euphrates River to the land of the Philistines and as far as the border of Egypt. The king made silver as common in Jerusalem as stones, and he made cedar as abundant as sycamore in the Judean foothills. They were bringing horses for Solomon from Egypt and from all the countries. What a great illustration of wealth. I mean, imagine, all of this gold, the 12 lions, the thrones and the gold laid footstools and thrones and armrests. And you can picture, just how beautiful that would look. I mean, that's just wow. I mean, just to think about that. Everything Solomon had was pure gold. Solomon made silver pretty much obsolete because he had so much gold. That is an example of wealth. That's an example of a blessing. That's an example of what God can do for you. He blessed them in both wealth and in wisdom. If God wants you to have all of this wealth, he's going to give it to you. The wealth that God gives us, we have to understand, first of all, that it comes from him. Second of all, that it has to be used in a way that pleases him. And third, that, if we misuse this wealth that he's given us, or any talent or anything that God gives you, if you misuse it, then God taketh away, or God can take it away. So that's very important. That's what I look at. And as I said yesterday, I think a lot of times the reason why I never could get to the point where I'm headed now is because I don't think I was ready. Personally, that's me. Maybe it's the same with you or others out there. I had a hard time dealing with the fact that earning money and whether or not it was a good thing or a bad thing. And I started, reading these books. That's one of the first books I actually bought because I was just so confused about the whole thing. After reading the Bible, and I couldn't make heads or tails of it, as I bought, God is my CEO. Great book, great examples of wealth and business people who actually accumulate, money, who also use that money for the good of humanity. If God gives you that wealth, then he expects you to do something great with it, and also to be able to tell others that it wasn't man that created that wealth. It was God that prospered you. I want to be able to impact the world. That's what I always say. I want to be able to have some sort of significance. As a matter of fact, I started referring to myself as Mr. Significant because that's what I want to do. I want to be able to do something in the world and to be remembered for my generosity, to be remembered for, my wanting to help others and wanting to make an impact and wanting to change the world and better people and give people opportunities. And these are the things I seek. God can prosper you. If God doesn't think that you're going to be able to handle it, then he's not going to make it possible. He's not going to make it happen for you. So if you're going to be a steward of this world and use money in the right way, then God will absolutely make it happen for you. Remember where the blessing came from, and always give thanks to the Lord for, I say, every dime. I desire to be prospered to a point where I can help others. That's just something I truly desire to be, but for the right reasons. That's just the way it is. And that's why I'm an entrepreneur, and that's why I have businesses, and that's the reason why I am learning to do things for the glory of God. That's what it's all about. So this is Barry Canada. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Take care and God bless.